what do you think are some of the things that were really fundamental to kind of how you developed in those early days that you think as an industry we may have forgotten now? What?
Well, I'll start with what I learned at Gold's, because if I didn't learn that at Gold's, there wouldn't have been a David Barton.
Right.
And then what David Barton taught me, and then I went straight from there to NASM, learned some lessons there. So each phase of my career taught me critical lessons. And I guess the very first lesson I learned working with a guy named Mitchell Pacifico was, and if it wasn't for him, my life would have been completely different. Everyone's a leader. It doesn't matter what your job title is. It doesn't matter even where you're starting, you're in leadership. Why define leadership? There's a story, people don't know this, but Epcot opened up October 1st, 1982. And it was a massive success. People came from all over the world. And I think they came from all over the world, not just because, when you turn on the news, it's like death and despair and, fear, and like you're having like a heart attack 20 minutes into a news report. It's like, if you think that's bad, just go check out your social media feed. And it was a positive story and a big story. So yeah, it would behoove you to report on it. But I think the reporters were of this age where they were touched by Disney's magic. But there's always one in the group, isn't it, right? And if you don't think so, it's probably you. And supposedly, this reporter pushed through the crowd, and obviously Walt was dead by then, so the company was being run by his brother, Roy. And he said, "Hey, kind of bittersweet day for you, huh, Roy?" And Roy Disney was a bit taken back and confused. It's like, they had high expectations for the launch, but everything went better than they could have imagined. So he's like, well, what exactly do you think is bittersweet? And he said, well, your brother Walt, he's dead. Too bad he'll never get to see this. Rude. But what made that even more painful was standing next to Roy Disney was Lillian Disney, Walt's widow. Now he looks at her and he can see that hurts. So he's getting angry and he goes to respond, but he can't say what he really wants to say because there's like cameras all over the place. So what he says is even better, genius. You know the Tensegrity Dome, the silver Tensegrity Dome, it's kind of like, it's the epitome of Epcot. When you think of Epcot, you think of that round, shiny dome. Well, they were standing in front of that and he points at that and he says, you see that? He says, Walt saw this first. That's why you get to see it. I thought, wow, that is the best example of leadership.